Yume Nikki is a Japanese surrealism game that was released in 2004. This is one of those different games full of theories and mysteries, and as this year the game will be turning 20, I decided to bring Yume Nikki's Iceberg, the standard for this style of video. Be prepared for a long video and know that at some point we will deal with subjects that may be considered inappropriate for some audiences, so be aware of that. Well, now that I've given all the messages I needed to give, let's go to the video. Hikikomori is a Japanese term to represent people who never leave their homes. A person can become a hikikomori for several reasons, but among the main ones are social anxiety and extreme difficulty facing life in society. The photos that Google shows of hikikomoris always show people in a state of extreme isolation, with rooms always buried in random things and even trash, and many fans say that Madotsuki is a hikikomori since throughout the game she is locked in her apartment, never leaving it, just dreaming and playing video games. Furthermore, the game is Japanese, and hikikomoris are a very common social phenomenon in that country. Uboa is one of the most iconic characters in the game. When you are in the snow world, you need to find this igloo that will teleport you to another world. There, you need to find 2 balloons that will take you to this house, where you can find this blonde girl. Now, you need to turn off the lights in the house and leave. Keep repeating this process until Uboa appears, making the screen shake with a scary music playing in the background. Every time you press the switch, you have a 1 in 64 chance of making Uboa appear. When you interact with him, he will teleport you to another world consisting of a field with a black sky and a giant creature watching you. Uboa has many theories that try to explain its meaning, since it's one of the most mysterious beings of the ancient internet. But I like the theory that says Uboa is the blonde girl who wanted to scare Madotsuki because she kept turning off the lights in her house all the time. I like this theory just because it's funny. In Number World, it's possible to hit this wall with a knife. After doing this, you gain access to a part of the map with a staircase where you can find this creature that is running its hand on the stair railing while smiling. At the top of this staircase, there is a door, and passing through it, the image of a face starts to flash on the screen, and soon after that, Madotsuki wakes up. Have you ever had a nightmare and woke up because of a scare you had inside the nightmare? I think something similar happens to Madotsuki in this part of the game, and maybe that's why the image of the face flashing on the screen appears like a jump scare. Or perhaps this represents some fears of Madotsuki, like the fear of leaving her room since the jump scare is activated after passing through a door. Nasu is a minigame that can be played in Madotsuki's room on her video game. It's a simple game that looks a lot like the first NES games. In this minigame, you control this creature and need to collect the eggplants that fall from the sky. And according to the game's wiki, according to unused code in version 0.09, the Nasu player character was originally going to appear in the Dense Woods A and Windmill World, teleporting the player to FC World C in an unused event called Nasu Link. Some theories say that since playing Nasu is one of Madotsuki's only hobbies, the game influences her dreams. Proof of this is the presence of the game character in one of the dreams we saw previously and the red color palette that the game presents. After all, in many dreams there are some environments that are completely red. Monoko is a monochromatic girl who lives in the white desert. She doesn't do anything, she just walks around like most of the characters. She even appears to be a normal girl, but if you use the traffic light on her, she will completely change shape, leaving her with a bruised eye and 5 arms, as well as there appearing to be a hole in her belly. There is no explanation in the game as to why this happens, although the most accepted theory is that Monoko was run over considering her appearance and that the traffic light is the trigger for this animation. Yes, that's the name of the game in English. If we translate Yume Nikki into English, this is the translation we will find. It's a name that matches the game's story, you can't deny that. Just like in the Monoko event, in this part of the iceberg, we will need the White Desert. Takofo-sen is an event that has 1 in 3600 chance of happening, which is scrolled twice every second. This translates to an average wait of 30 minutes between appearances, so there's a good chance you will see it at least once. You can't interact with Takofo-sen, just watch him floating around the screen and hear the sounds he makes. Takofo-sen seems to resemble the symptoms of a birth defect known as twin reversed arterial perfusion, where one of a pair of birthed twins is severely malformed, generating only a torso and the lower half of the body. The most famous theory to explain the meaning of Takofo-sen is that he could be a twin sibling of Madotsuki, since the syndrome he appears to represent only occur in twins. This is a game event. This event takes place in the number world, where you are trapped in a room and the background of the map is filled with these red drawings, or by these hiragana, which in Japanese represents the letter A. So think that this sequence of hiraganas could be representing a scream. This is a glitch that makes Madotsuki faster. It can be useful for those who like speedruns. To make the glitch, you need to sit in the chair in Madotsuki's room, open the menu, equip the bicycle, ride the chair into the Nexus, drop the bicycle, then pick it back up, open the menu and equip the bicycle, return to the bedroom, there will be no chair at the desk, go to the desk, sit down on the invisible chair, then get up. And congratulations, now you have hyperspeed. This is an effect that was not used in the game, that causes Madotsuki to put on a blindfold. I don't know what the use of this would be. After all, how am I going to play a game without seeing anything? Yume Nikki is Yume Nikki's best known fan game, and technically this fan game has the same name as the original game, since the number 2 in Japanese is pronounced ni, so yes, it's not Tsuki, but actually Nikki. There are several Yume Nikki fan games, some are very interesting, and since Yume Nikki is a very unique kind of game, fan games can extend your experience in dream simulators. This is a creature that can be found in the river in Number World. You can't reach the creature, but you can interact with it in some ways, such as using the traffic light, which causes it to stop. Talking about appearance, Steve looks like 2 crossed fish, and in my opinion that makes him look like a horde. But that's just my observation, I can't be sure if this was intentional or not. This is an event that has a 1 in 64 chance of happening. If this happens, Madotsuki will wake up with a sick neck and won't be able to turn her face in another direction, so she can't write in the diary or play video games when this happens, but the effect wears off when you sleep. Me is a Yume Nikki fan game. The game is obviously very reminiscent of Yume Nikki, but it's also a game with its own personality, something that I think is very important for a fan game. This is the fan game creator's website. If you want to hire him for a project, I will leave the link in the comments. Kikiyama was the guy who created Yume Nikki, and Mars-san is this very abstract monster. He looks like a large mass of flesh with a giant crying eye supported by a single foot. And because Kikiyama is a very reserved person, and it's even very difficult to find the true information about him on the internet, they say that this monster would represent him, since he is alone in the dark and crying. But following this logic, Mars-san could also be a representation of Madotsuki, we can't be sure. This is a map that should have been part of the game, but wasn't included. It's possible to access the map through glitches, but there's nothing to see there. The map does not have anything special events or creatures. This is a theory that say Madotsuki was raped. This theory is based on some monsters in the game. Some are always staring at you and others have several hands. And all of these would be a way to symbolize the abuse that Madotsuki suffered. And this abuse would be the reason why she became a hikikomori. When I was reading about this theory, I even saw people saying that the face we saw previously would look like a male organ, but to be honest, I couldn't see the similarity, so I don't know if I believe in this theory or not. In the Yume Nikki comics, there's a page where Uboa appears hitting Madotsuki with an umbrella, and on that same page, Madotsuki calls Uboa mother. So yes, maybe Uboa is like how Madotsuki sees her mother, since Uboa is a monster, and their relationship seems quite abusive. Torinin are these characters, and as you know there are beds spread throughout the game, so this event should happen in Block World and will teleport you to a different map. This is a book called Yume Nikki I'm Not Your Dream. It's available on Amazon and is written in English, so you can read it without worry about the language barrier. I have never read this book, but if you have, please leave your opinion in the comments. This is an image of a broken window that exists in the game files. It's just that, a picture of Madotsuki's broken window, it's no big deal. It will probably be used to represent Madotsuki's room as a chaotic and messy place, since at the beginning of this iceberg, I talked about how hikikomori's rooms tend to be messy. Dense Woods, as the name suggests, is a forest map, and on this map would be where the main character of the game Nasu could appear, but as I explained previously, you know that this ended up not happening in the final game. These are characters that can be found in dense woods, and some people say that the character looks a lot like a lotus flower, which in Buddhism is associated with purity, spiritual awakening, and faithfulness. And because they appear at the end of the game right after Madotsuki's suicide, they would be used as a way of representing this ending in Madotsuki's life, and knowing that this is a very popular religion in Japan, it's no surprise that an event related to death brings analogies to Buddhism, in the same way that here in the West, where the majority of people are Christians, crosses and images of angels and saints are used in cemeteries. This is a jump scare from the game Yume Nikki that was removed from the game. It's basically a red face that appears on the screen with a scary sound. I couldn't find an exact reason why this was removed from the game. Almost everywhere on the internet where I found people talking about this jump scare, there was always at least one person asking the real reason the jump scare was removed. He created the fun game Point Flow, a fun game that is very popular among Yume Nikki fans. According to the game's wiki, this is his channel, but it's all in Japanese as you can see. He posts videos from time to time and even make a video about a game I played here last week. The guy has good taste. In the game's sewers, it's possible to find some hidden drawings. These drawings are very reminiscent of monsters from the game, and some fans say that these are monsters that were not used in the final game, and that for some reason they were removed. I like this theory, and it makes a lot of sense. It's quite common to find Easter eggs of objects or characters that were removed from a game, and perhaps the game's creator placed these drawings as one of these Easter eggs. This is a song that was initially uploaded by Kikiyama on a website that is unfortunately deactivated. Being a lost media, all we have is a short description of the song. It's a minimalist techno song. The reverb sounds like the cry of a cicada. This song was created by looping and muting the tracks, and is a song that doesn't intensify much. The only unused background in the game, named Neon Background. When the bug party member is present, this background appears in Neon World. It's just more content that was cut from the game. Free Game Station is the name of a games magazine in Japan, one of those very old ones that came with computer game CDs, and Yume Nikki was on one of these CDs, and it was thanks to this version available in the magazine that one of the 10 versions of the game's demo stopped being a lost media. Apparently, this is a troll theory from Yume Nikki, and this acronym stands for Sabitsuki is a slut. I didn't find much information about this, so it must be some internal joke within the community, or I don't have enough IQ to understand this kind of humor. Some people say that Kikiyama is non-binary because there are records of him using the pronoun they, but this could also just be Kikiyama's strategy to hide his or her identity, since he doesn't let any information become public. Maybe he or she wants to hide his or her gender too, but that's something we can't be sure since Kikiyama is extremely private about his personal life. Some people see Kikiyama as a man, some people see Kikiyama as a woman, and some people see Kikiyama as non-binary. Even something so simple is something we are not sure about Kikiyama's life. I myself only refer to him as a man because in my mother tongue, Kikiyama sounds like a masculine word. Tomoaki Hamatsu is a Japanese man who participated in a TV show in 1998 in Japan, where he was supposed to be locked in a room without any contact with the outside world. To survive, he needed to participate in magazine contests that were sent to him, and he should survive only with the prizes he received in these contests. He lived in these conditions for more than a year, and I imagine that in a way this case has some similarities with Madotsuki's story, since they both spend long periods of time locked in a room and have some objects in common, such as a video game and a diary. And considering that this TV show was broadcast in the same country where Yume Nikki was born, perhaps the show influenced the story of the game. This refers to a post from a user on Reddit who downloaded the Point Flow fan game that we saw previously, but the game he downloaded had been modified. A replaced sprite was a red screen with the word writing on it, and it made the game crash, and then the guy made a really pissed off post on Reddit, and yes, it's a shit post. My god, this topic was very difficult to find any information about. All I found was this comment on Reddit explaining what this means, so I hope this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm trusting you. Kikiyama is the developer of a Yume Nikki fan game called LCD Dam. In 2013, he made an announcement saying he wanted everyone to forget his game and that he would disappear from the internet. Several theories arose trying to explain why he would do this, but come on guys, not everything needs to have a mystery behind it. Maybe the guy just didn't want to be recognized. These are comics that were posted on Ubboachan with the comics creator asking for reviews of their work, but Ubboachan users started making a lot of Rule 34 style art of these comics, and this became a popular meme among anons. Some people believe that Kikiyama sometimes appears on Ubboachan to see what people are saying, but this is impossible to confirm. Anyone can go to Ubboachan and pretend to be Kikiyama. This is a Santa hat that Sabitsuki can use in the fun game Point Flow. That's all. I don't really know why this is so deep in the iceberg. Why are all Sabitsuki topics difficult to explain? Just like Cicada Drums, this is a song that was lost. There is no record of it anywhere on the internet. Again, all we have is a brief description. Like Only Child, the genre of this one is listed as game music rather than techno. Some people say that this is the new identity of Kikiyama, the creator of that fun game that disappeared from the internet, but nothing was ever proven. As I said before, maybe Kikiyama really just wanted to distance himself from the internet fame. A great Yume Nikki mystery. Where exactly did the game start to become popular? The most accepted theory is that the original post was made on 2chan, but no record of this was ever found. And even if the original post was made on 2chan, it's very difficult to believe that it was archived. On the Wayback Machine, it's possible to see some saved posts from 2chan that were made on the day of the game's launch. So if you speak Japanese and want to try it out, good luck. I didn't find anything confirmed in this topic. I even thought that at the time the game was released, there was a virus to scare people using Uboa's image, but I couldn't find anything. If this ever existed, it became lost media. This is a myth that says that if you play the game too much, you will start to be haunted in your dreams by elements of the game, but this is all just a horror story, as the game has some scary elements. Some people may have had nightmares with the game, but it's no big deal. And there is also this syndrome, where the infected person has Yume Nikki in the place where the brain should be. Vomit-chan is the nickname given to a fan art of Madotsuki vomiting and trying to hold back the vomit with her hand. The image ends up becoming a meme to express disgust towards someone's opinion. There are even several versions of this drawing with other characters. The original drawing was made by the artist Aosuya, known on this website for his ghoul drawings, but the original image is no longer on his profile, and this topic is so low on the iceberg because ghoul comes from uboa, an artistic style based on the erotic and grotesque. This style of art aims to represent scenes in an erotic way. In other words, these are drawings with a lot of red liquid and so you can imagine that this is an artistic style that causes discomfort in many people. Well guys, we've reached the end of another iceberg. I hope you enjoyed this video. As I said before, I wanted to make this video to celebrate the anniversary of the game, which is one of my favorites. So for today, that's it. I really hope you had fun and I see you next time.